Hey everyone, my name is BrunoCoelho. Welcome to a very special episode of the By Me podcast. This show is designed to help you sell your skills and get hired. So today I have a special guest. His name is David Lawrence. He's the founder of Vine Resources. It's a mission-focused recruitment and search firm with deep industry knowledge, and they are experts in attracting hard-to-find talent. But better than me talking about who David is, I will let David introduce himself right now. Thank you so much for joining, David.
Hey, nice to be on the show.
It's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time and actually help me share what you do and how you can help people who are right now maybe struggling to find a job, or maybe they already have a job, but they're wondering, hey, how can I get promoted? And they are a little bit lost. So please first describe a little bit, what do you do on a daily basis?
Okay, well, let's touch on that first. Thanks for the intro. So I'm the founder of Vine Resources. If you go to vineresources.com, we're a tech, media, and telecoms recruitment business. Founded the company in 2004. We're turning over about 4 million, working with customers, majority in Europe at the moment. We're looking for expansion over the next 2 years into other territories. The market's changing at a hell of a pace in terms of how we reach our audience, as you well know. However, there's a lot of elements of recruitment that are key, which is providing exceptional service to your customers and your candidates. Very, very hyper competitive, fast moving game. So we're competing with some of the best players in the UK, in Europe, in other markets to enable us to get the best talent for our customers. And the market moves so fast. And I think if you came and seen what we did in our office in London, and just how quick things change, some people who are listening to this might be amazed at how quickly the market moves. So that's what we do. We generally deal with senior candidates who could be earning anything between, as a contractor, between 400 to 1,500 pounds or 1,500 euros a day, to candidates on 50,000 up to 250,000 pounds in terms of salary. So that's a little bit about me. What else would you like to talk about?
So David, my first question would be, what would you say or what would you advise to someone who is coming out from college? They don't have that much of an experience and they are wondering, how can I go into the marketplace and how can I show them that I can really help them achieve their goals and solve their problems? Because with that little to no experience, what should I write in my cover letter anyway? What should I write on my resume?
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't matter where in the world they are, but let's just take, you got some people in Portugal there, and they're looking for their first job, for example. Okay, now I didn't go to university personally myself. I had the University of Life, and went bumming around the world for 2 years, and it taught me a lot more about things, I believe. And I didn't want to be a lawyer or a nurse or a doctor where I needed that university degree. I started doing a paper round when I was 12 years old. And I remember, you knew the houses that would chew your arm off from dropping the papers. And I had multiple jobs in the evening. And actually, I left college, never told my mum. Don't tell her this. I didn't tell my mum that I left college. Didn't turn up one day, and got a job in a shop selling TVs and radios. And it was in the days. Sound old now. It was in the days where you could. It was in the days where you could rent a VCR. And people were like paying £3 or €5 a month to rent a VCR, but I was quite good at that. The point I'm trying to make is, if I was a graduate now or I was leaving school, and I know there's laws in different countries that mean you've got to be paid minimum wage, but if it was me personally, I'd offer my services for nothing. I really would. I'd go into a company and say, if I can afford to live with bank of mum and dad, and I can sleep there, or I can sleep on a friend's couch or whatever I am. I'd say, if I was really struggling to get a paid job, I'd say, give me some experience. I'll come and work for you for free for 6 months. If I'm good enough and there's a role at the end of it and you see value from me, then I'll join you. But I think so many people focus on worrying about a cover letter. If someone came to me and said that, and I had that this week, I've got a marketeer internship in London. I've had tons of responses, and I only had 4 people phone me up, which is amazing, I think, right? You got to pick up the phone and call these people and put yourself out there. If you're going for a job and you can demonstrate in some form how you could perform that job, you know, we've all got iPhones these days. Stick a quick 1 minute video to that company. You know, Bruno, you do it to me on Instagram.
That's right.
You know, sticking those videos to me, like every bloody reply, I've got another video from you. But it's great. You know, you got my attention, and that's cool. I've got other people who do that, but most people aren't doing that. So if you're a graduate, see something you like. You don't know if you're going to like it yet. I get that. You know, you want to taste them. You've got to try some things out. But if you're passionate about, you know, marketing, you know, don't come to me for a job in marketing when you haven't done bugger all on Instagram or Twitter, or at least I don't see an account where you've been trying. You know, I had it this week. People haven't even bothered to try. And I'm like, well, if you're not going to try, you know, I haven't got time to hire you. So I think you just got to give those things a go, and don't be frightened of saying, do you know what? I'll work for nothing for 3 months, 6 months. I want to learn, and I want to show that I'm worth it. And you've got to get it in that office before anyone else. And you've got to be the last one that leaves. Now, I'm not saying everyone has that mentality, but I'm a firm believer, like you, Bruno. You know, you're working your own job, and you're working crazy hours because you want to get ahead, right? If you and I are doing that, you imagine how many other people are doing that. And the final thing is, you know, the Portuguese government or the British government is not going to pay for your retirement.
True.
Right?
Exactly.
So do not rely on the government. They owe us nothing. They owe us nothing. Right?
That's right.
Nobody owes you anything. So you're going to have to work hard now while you're fit and able and healthy, and you can enjoy life. Right? Get some hours in and get working, because you just want to be able to help set yourself up, because, you know, accommodation, housing is not going to get any cheaper in any of these countries over the years. If anyone tells you anything different, it's a lie. It's always going to go up. So you want to get yourself rocking where you've got some money coming in. That's my view.
Yeah. So what I heard was, you know, focus first on getting the experience and not so much on the salary itself, because at this stage, as you're coming out from the university, you don't have any much experience to sell anyway. So you might as well look at the companies and the people who are doing the work that you would like to do, and then reach out to them in ways that capture their attention, and share how passionate and how excited you are to work with them. Is that what you're saying, right?
Pretty much. And again, to give you a quick comparison, if I saw a candidate with a degree, and I had another candidate who didn't have a degree, but they showed me the effort, the drive and attention they were doing, and they showed me some really solid examples, and they had the drive and the passion, I might hire them over the other person. You know, that's the
truth. So thank you for that, David. And what I would like to know next, is what I'm seeing a lot of people struggling is, they're looking at some of the job ads that are online. And when they see that every job ad asks for a cover letter, they go crazy. They go, oh my God, what should I write? I don't know what I'm doing. And when it comes to, in regards to cover letters, what do you think that it's the best way to do this?
Okay, so I'll go two things on that. First of all, if you really need to write a cover letter, it needs to be, well, you need to create some wit and interest, right?
Got it.
So you need to forget about it's about the job, but it's what can you do to solve the problem for that company. And if you can do that in a witty way, an unusual way, but you've also shown that you've perhaps done some research on the company. It ain't difficult to jump on LinkedIn these days, find out who the CEO is, the owner, whatever, and you make up a poem that involves their names, anything that's going to make you stand out from the crowd. Now, I could do a video cover letter. So in the cover letter section, you write, I didn't bother doing a cover letter, but I did this video instead. Bang. Hey, look at me. Here's my video cover letter. And then you talk about whatever you want to write in that cover letter. You know, hey, this is who I am. This is where, from your job spec, this is where I can add value on all of those points. And by the way, I've bothered to do some research on your company, and this is why I'm dropping in names, I'm dropping in products that you've got, services, or I saw your service and I think I can improve your product or service on your website by doing this. Have you thought about this? You got to, you know, Bruno, you got to work on it. You got to show work.
Yeah, totally.
Otherwise, you're the same as the other 98% of people. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right. And how many people have you seen doing these video cover letters? Have you seen anyone?
Less than 10%.
Wow. So this means that it's a huge opportunity for anyone who picks up their phone and actually records something that people can watch and say, "Hey, this guy actually did some homework. They understand how he can help me with my problems, with my goals." So excellent. I need to meet this person, right?
Not only that, it's the follow up,
Oh, tell me more about
right?
that because I'm a big fan
Well,
of that.
well, it's very simple. If you had a job and I send you my CV and my thing, I'm going to pick up the phone to you the next day and say, I've sent you this. You need to watch it. You need to see me. Now, even if you get to the receptionist, right, you need to say to the receptionist, what's your name, receptionist? Lady, man? And the man says, or lady says, my name is X. You say, look, do me a favor, Miss X, or, Bruno, do me a favor. I sent a really important email to your CEO and I sent him a video. It's really key that he watches it. Can I ask you a favor, Bruno? Can you check it with him and check he gets it? Now, if you do it like that, that person's going to go more likely to go up to the owner or the CEO or the CTO or whoever, yeah, because you've asked them to do it by name.
Yeah, I love that. I love
And
that.
these are just little things that you could try.
That's right. And actually, this reminds me of a story where I was working in my office and someone just knocks on the door. She goes to the receptionist, and I'm working in the same floor at that time. And I was listening to the conversation, and that person just grabbed his resume and they say, "Hey, are you guys hiring?" And she said, "No." And he was like, "Okay, so take this anyway. This is my resume. Thank you so much. Have a great day." Then the guy just left, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the worst pitch I've ever heard in my life." Come on, it's just not about throwing some resumes and cross your fingers and hoping for the best, right, David?
Yeah. Or if you want to be really crazy, go put a tent outside their office. Go sleep in it and do a video of you getting out of it in the morning. I mean, you just got to do crazy
I
stuff,
love that.
to get people's attention.
And go like, "Hey, I won't leave until I have a bloody meeting."
But can I tell you this? That if you're doing this kind of stuff or whatever you're doing, you've got to be genuinely passionate about actually wanting to work with them. I think people often forget, it's hard. Work is hard. Hard work, you're going to have to work hard. And as I said, depending what field you're in, there's a ton of other people that are doing exactly the same as you in a very competitive market. And you're going to have to work really hard and really smart to get ahead. So, if you are interested in that job, you've got to do something that's going to make you stand out from the crowd.
Exactly. And that's actually a great follow-up to what I'm going to ask next, which is, in your experience, I guess that you get a lot of resumes, right?
We get a fair few, yeah.
I can
Yeah.
only imagine
As
how
a
much.
business, we get a lot. Yeah, it's a huge amount of volume a day.
So tell me, what are maybe the top three things that you go when you see a resume? Those three things are the go-to things that you go immediately look at. Tell me your thought process, so other people who are listening to this, they can see, oh, David looks at these things first, so I'm gonna be sure to make it right.
Well, look, and again, everyone's got a slightly different opinion of this, and no opinion is right or wrong. Okay, but I'll give you a very quick insight into how it's looking at. The average time a recruiter, both in internal or external, is looking at a CV is between 10 and 30 seconds max. Okay, so you're going to be scanning that CV. So without I was just talking about this morning about prejudice in discrimination. We're talking about blind CVs. That's another subject. But generally, people are looking at a number of things. They're looking at, and again, this is a sweeping statement now. Have they got the skills and experience to do the job? Yeah. Or is the background the kind of background I'm looking for to train them into the role that I'm looking to hire? Yeah. Is the CV not going to bore me to death? So first of all, it shouldn't be longer than two to 3 pages, absolute max. Is the font readable? I did a blog on that. I can send it to you about fonts in Europe. I see these again. There's a few people out there that use these European CV templates. It's a bit.
What's your opinion on those?
Bit 1980s. There's a TV program called Going for Gold, and it reminds me of this program where a Belgian person would compete against a German person. It's anyway, look a bit 80s, right?
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So these as a recruiter, if you get a PDF CV, it's a bit of a pain because you do need to the customer may want you to take certain stuff off and put a cover sheet on. So having a PDF and a Word version is good. Use Arial or Calibri 11 or some kind of font like that. No flashing font. I still see random CVs with flashing font. Just keep it really simple and talk about the return on investment. What have you done in your role, whether it's university in the role, that has actually added value to the business? So these are very simple things.
No, but simple things, but very very powerful. Because your point about doing also a Word version makes a lot of sense, because what I want to do as a candidate is make your life as easy as possible. So that's a great tip, actually. So let's move on to the phase where people are going into interviews. This is another topic where people tell me, oh my god, I'm so stressed, I don't know what I'm doing, I know that I do great work, but once I'm in an interview I kind of I feel like I'm crumbling down or something. So maybe what's the couple of tips or strategies that you would advise people to follow to really do a great job on an interview?
Well, first of all, when we set people up for an interview, we have a Skype chat with them first to ensure they're prepared. Okay. We also send them a video that gives them a number of tips to prepare themselves for an interview. Okay. Now, there's plenty of stuff out on the market that enables, you could go on YouTube right now and put that very thing in. How do you prepare for an interview? So if you can't, you should be doing that stuff without going into detail. But the one that I see most often is people are rushed. They get to the interview, they're late, they're running late, they make some bullshit excuse that their car, the traffic, the tube or whatever it might be. Right, so first things first, go get a coffee. Oh, the light's gone out. Let me just turn this up for you. Go get a coffee and park as close as you can, or get a coffee shop near the customer. So you're there an hour before. So you're not stressed, you're prepared, you're not, fluxed or flummoxed, you're there, right? Have you researched the company, and have you read the job spec, and have you made sure that you're prepared for that, any questions that you want to ask? I see it often. People don't ask me questions about the company that they're about to go and invest their time and energy in joining. It tells a lot about a person if they don't ask you questions, right?
Right.
So there's lots of other things as well, and we could go over that for probably about an hour. So maybe that's a separate podcast, right? But
right.
Look, just as they say in England, when you're a cub, just be prepared. Right?
Exactly.
Be prepared.
No, it makes a lot of sense, because when you are already in a rush and you're running late, that's a really lousy way to start anything, really. So great tip, thank you, David. Maybe just to wrap this up, and maybe talking about one thing that I don't see many people talking about is this. Would you advise people, candidates, to do cold calling, like picking up the phone and actually trying to go to the decision maker and trying to show them how they can actually help them? Or would you advise them to do something else? Maybe reach out to you would be wiser than going alone.
Again, I don't know who your audience is in terms of a candidate. Your candidate could be doing any type of job, a graduate through to an experienced hire. At the end of the day, there's no rules, right? It's up to you. If it's not bad enough, reach out to the company. Now, a recruiter, and recruitment is a tough job day in and day out. You've got to have a lot of rejection. You've got to have a lot of thick skin, because you're going to face a lot of rejection. So if you're prepared, and if you're prepared to get up and even have a simple thing, Google Doc, right? These are the 10, 15, 20 companies I want to work for in Lisbon, right? I'm gonna map them out. I'm gonna go and send my CV. I'm gonna find out who the person is that I need to contact, and I'm gonna drop him an email. I'm gonna tweet to him. I'm gonna LinkedIn to him. But look, at the end of the day, you got a few things that are going on. They have to need to hire you, or they see a need because you can have a return on investment. They might have budget, and they like you, So, if you get liked and they can see that you've got the right skills and experience and it's the right time for their business, they might entertain a conversation. And if the time's not right, the time's not right, and you have to then put something in your calendar for a future date. And that's what good recruiters will do when they're engaging with companies, where you're constantly building those relationships for when the time is right for them to need your services. So yeah, you can reach out, but you need to reach out in the right way. And what's the worst they can say?
Maybe no.
Exactly. And the best they can say is, come on in.
Exactly. So you have everything to gain and pretty much almost
Nothing to lose.
Really.
Nothing to lose apart from your pride.
Exactly. So swallow your pride and do the call anyway, or reach out to David. Before
or Bruno, you can do it. You can phone them.
Exactly. See, David, what I want to basically end this is, hey, I know that you talk with many decision makers, many different companies. What do you see that is probably the biggest opportunity right now in the marketplace? Maybe something that a lot of companies are asking, and there's not necessarily a lot of supply for that. Do you see anything rising in your eyes in the space?
Great, that's a great question. There's so many different technologies out there that are very, very interesting. I hear a lot around cryptocurrency developers at the moment. There's a big demand for those kind of resources. And again, if you're thinking, I don't know what it is, then go on YouTube or go on Google, right? If you're thinking, how do I get into it? Then give yourself away for free for a year and go and work for one of these companies for nothing. Scala, Ruby, Java, Python, all these kind of mobile web technologies are in huge demand. There's a lot of stuff around the ad tech space as well. Data science, data engineering, machine learning, these kind of technologies, AI, VR, game development, all these kind of next generation things. And again, if you're not sure what they are, just go Google them. And then if you're interested in them, you'll find companies that do that in whatever location you're in. And if you get excited about it, go and talk to them about how you can get involved.
I love that. So David, tell our audience who exactly should reach out to you, and besides who and how can they reach out to you so you can do what you do best, which is basically help match their talent with whoever needs it, right?
Well, I'll happily share some things with you. I'm the business owner of the company, and I think what people sometimes forget is, I grew up as a recruiter. I started off as a training recruiter, but I've got a business to run. So for me, it's I'm trying to run the business and grow the business, and that takes up a lot of my time. But I'm overseeing all the customers that we've got. If people want to get in touch with me, they can go on. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll just put a caveat to that. I want that if they do read your listen to this, they need to do a personalized invitation. And if you don't know how to do that, Google it. Google personalized invitation and say you listen to me and Bruno on the show. So please put that in. You can follow me on Twitter, David J. Lawrence. You can listen to me on Anchor, David Lawrence, anchor.fm, David Lawrence. You can connect with me on Instagram. It's a lot of fun there. You know that. That's also instagram.com, David Lawrence. And there's a few other bits, Periscope, or just if you're in London, come and have a coffee, and I might put you on Facebook Live. So every Friday we do Facebook Live with people, and that's over on our Vine Resources Facebook channel.
That's lovely. That's awesome. And you are one of the few, but maybe I don't follow enough people in this recruitment space, but you're really one of the few, if not really the only person that I'm seeing using all of social media to spread your message, to spread how you can help people, and the different ways that you are using each of these social medias is really remarkable, because you're not just, recording something and then broadcasting to every social media. You're going specific for each, and you're creating specific content. And that not only shows your work ethic, but also shows that you understand these mediums, and you understand that it matters to engage with people where they are and in the way that particular social media works. So great work, and I love following you. I've been learning a lot, and I'm sure that anybody who follows you it's going to be the best decision that they will make all day. So
Well, look, I think there's so many great people you can learn from out in the marketplace. I just think, and I wherever I am between, going on the way home, going to being meetings, I jump on a podcast, I listen to someone's podcast. It could be about anything, whatever it might be, whatever interests you, or something I don't know about. The weekend tomorrow, I've got to learn how to do certain things between, spending time with my kids. I have to sit up at night and learn stuff. So just be open, learning, and if anyone wants to reach out to me, please do so. And good luck from your side as well.
thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time. I know that you're a very busy person. You have some phone calls to do right now, so I appreciate your time. This was awesome. I think that if people really listen to this, but above all else, they take action on what you just tell them, I mean, this is gold. What you told them about the video, cover letter, and all the other things. So thank you so much. You're very generous, and I hope that we can keep in touch. All right.
You're more than welcome anytime. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.